World at War, despite being the first iteration of zombies, had the least amount of zombies cut content. Let's get into it. Juggernog had a completely different jingle. You can actually find it in the files, and it was sung by Craig Houston, and I'll let you guys listen to this.
Life is hard, sometimes cruel, what to do? Toughen up, you know you should, but how to? I think our skin could help you climb out of this slump. A little help can help you beat your demons up. Are you sure you're really ready for the answer? Jugga, 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 jugga.
Shinonuma was actually originally going to have a any gun chalk, which kind of sounds like it would have just been chalk that maybe you could buy ammo for any weapon from or buy any gun you wanted from. Would have been kind of overpowered, so in all honesty, good thing they didn't add that. It would kind of come back in the form of gobblegum, I think. I don't remember what it was called. No, not wall power. It just lets you buy ammo for any gun off of any wall buy besides wonder weapons. Of course, there were the weapons that were cut. You know, some of them including the Sten, the Bren, the Linefield. There was another cut weapon called Brains, and it was a first-person zombie attack. This kind of seems like maybe the player would have been able to play as a zombie at some point. It was shown in the trailer, but it just never made it in. There were mortar rounds that you could buy that costed 2,000, but, you know, they ended up getting cut. This would have been pretty cool to see, but, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not really a huge loss. It's just like, huh. That's interesting. Originally, the Pack-a-Punch jingle was much longer and had a whole story to go with it. There's a perk machine called Ammo-Matic that was supposed to appear in Shinonuma and Doris. Gave the player max ammo for 10,000 points. This would come back in Cold War, where you could just buy it from the crate. Not a perk machine, just a little crate. There was a cut game mode called Payload. This game mode would have been a player escort, where you escort a payload for a set amount of time. It's in several text streams just left over. I'm glad they didn't add it, but even if they did, it's not like you're being forced to play it. It's just like one of those things that's just like, that's not really fun, that's kind of boring. There was going to be a map pack 4 that had 4 DLCs in mind. Those being Coast, which was scrapped and reworked into Call of the Dead. There was Farm, there were leftover models that remain in the game. Macon, there's some leftover script files. Paris, which was going to release in Map Pack 4, but was scrapped and reworked for Black Ops 1 before it was eventually just turned into Moon. And there was a map called Theater, which was planned to release in Map Pack 4, and it was reworked into Kino der Toten and dropped in Black Ops 1. And the last bit I have here are 2 different zombie types. There was going to be a crawler zombie in World at War, which I think this was reworked into the Nova Crawler, because there is crawlers in the game, but this sounds a lot like the Nova Crawler, and you know, someone probably confirmed that. I haven't found anything on it. There was an engineer zombie. There's some model files that remain in the game. It was planned to be the primary boss in the Coast map. They ended up replacing it with George Romero, you know, obviously when it got turned into Call of the Dead, but they didn't get rid of the engineer forever, as they put him into Dead Ops Arcade. This is like one of the shortest ones. Like, there was just not much on World at War that I could find. Black Ops 1 had some of the most cut content, and some of it being kind of outrageous. There were a few cut or reskinned maps ideas that never made it into Zombies, but were found in the files, those being Paris. Resurrection was planned to feature a Zombies map set in Paris, but this was scrapped and eventually reworked into Moon. And there's a big theory that the No Man's Land on Moon was supposed to be Eiffel Tower in Paris. The Temple of Doom, referenced within the files of Escalation, possibly an earlier version of Shangri-La. And honestly, I think this would have been kind of cool. Part of that is me being, I hate Shangri-La a lot. I do not, I don't like that map. You know, I think it's a little bit ridiculous, but like, if you can imagine a temple, you know, a Temple of Doom with a bunch of booby traps in it and all sorts of shit, I think that would have been pretty cool. A Vietnam map. There's some concept art that kind of suggested a Vietnam Zombies map was in development that we ended up not getting until Firebase Z. You know, it was like a decade later, but maybe they decided to go back on it and continue making it. Several weapons, such as a chainsaw and a flamethrower, were scrapped. Which those are some, the flamethrower I guess isn't as crazy, but the chainsaw would have been pretty insane. It was supposed to be called the Saber-Tooth, and I think there was a Pack-a-Punch variant, or like a picture somebody found of it. It'll be in the video if there's a picture of it, I can't remember. Some of the more normal weapons that were scrapped were the AK-47. The version that we found was the Pack-a-Punch variant called the Red Mist, and it has a flamethrower attachment, which would have been kind of insane to have something like that. The KS-23 game file suggests it was supposed to appear in Zombies. Caparius, definitely butchering that name. This was supposed to be dual wield. A texture for that and a Pack-a-Punch variant remain in the game files. Scorpion, the Stoner 63, and the WA2000 all had Pack-a-Punch versions in the files. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, the flamethrower, there were a couple voice quotes that suggest it was intended for 5 and Kino der Toten. And then there was the Saber-Tooth, like I said before. There were also some perks that never made it as well. Some of these, I can see why, but some of them would have been pretty cool to actually see in game and also kind of useful. There was a perk called Candelier, and it was probably going to act similar to Bandolier from Modern Warfare 4 by giving the player extra magazines. There's also a perk called Boom Juice, which is kind of an insane name. It's intended for Ascension, but was replaced with PhD Flopper, which is just a better name. Boom Juice is a little bit ridiculous. DTP Boom, which was also intended for Ascension, but the functionality is unknown. Grenade and Turbfew were two other perks that were intended for Ascension, but also have unknown functionalities. Then there was an icon for a perk called Damage Aid, and this is kind of one I actually am kind of excited about. I wish, or am excited, but would have been excited for it. It kind of looks interesting, and I would have liked to see this in the game. I mean, obviously it would have had something to do with health. Maybe you can go through, I really honestly don't even know. Maybe it temporarily boosts your health, but that would be kind of a waste of money. Did you know the Fire Sale originally had a different song? It had a demonic Samantha as the announcer, which would have been actually kind of cool to see. I kind of would have liked it as like a random, like, Easter egg almost, like it could just happen. That's the announcer you get. Black Ops 1 had a cut zombie type called the Butcher. He was cut and repurposed into George Romero from Call of the Dead, and he was later used in COD Mobile Zombies in Transit. And I'm honestly kind of glad they scrapped something called the Butcher, because that would have been terrifying. Raven Studios has a Black Ops Zombies poster with Woods on it in their office, which might have been used for a earlier version of Shangri-La, maybe that Temple of Doom. Shangri-La was also going to have teleporters originally, and I think that is really leaning into the whole Temple of Doom thing. Being able to teleport around a giant temple, if the map's big enough, then it would allow you to, you know, move around it faster, or maybe get out of certain traps, who knows. And speaking of Shangri-La, there was a concept for a different type of Pack-a-Punch, or I should say a different way to Pack-a-Punch. There was also cut crystals that you would have been able to put in the baby gun to give it, you know, certain different abilities, is, I think, you know, what everybody assumes. We don't know exactly what they would have done. That sucks. That would have probably kept me maybe going back to Shangri-La. I just don't ever play it now because the baby gun, it's cool. It's very rare. I think adding these crystals would have definitely brought more replay value. Maybe they ran out of time. You know, who knows? Originally going to be a buildable chainsaw weapon, going back to the chainsaw that was in the files. Maybe this was it. The Thunder Gun was originally going to be on 5, and the Wonderwall was planned for Kino der Toten. Quotes for these weapons exist in the files, and I will play some of them now.
A waffle! Killing zombies made easy in one single step, batteries included. Hell yes! Bring it, you nasty squags! Element 115 concentrated to a single beam of pure badassery. Wait, how the hell do I know that? The DG2, one slick piece of machinery. Wonder Waffle. Yeah, thing of beauty. Hey zombies, you like waffles? Welcome to the party, meat sacks! They've got zero chance against me and the Wonder Waffle! Time to fry, freak nuggets! You see that? Holy shit balls! Bzz, zap! Woohoo! Yeah, time to cook up some stank steaks! Ah! Gotta light the grill! They're gonna get lit like Nikolai. I'm gonna burn them to the ground. I'm gonna make me some ashes. Mmm, bacon. Burn! That smells a little like popcorn. Woo! You want fries with that? Mmm, that's some well-done meat right there. Burn in hell, you skull-sucking maggot!
What? I did something? Oh, great, it's the wonderful waffle. Hell, pigs, I am coming. Now, this gun makes Nikolai a very happy Cossack. This has more power than Moscow Electric Company. This almost as strong as the best Russian vodka. I have more for you. Taste the power of the Red Menace. Electrocution, just like the Gulag. What fun. Good times. Ha! You die like the dogs that you are. I think I saw his bones for a split second. Hey, it's a flamethrower. Let me see if I can light my breath on fire. No, come, look, this is funny. Anyone need a light? Da, same weapon I used to kill my... Oh, no, that was something else. I used iron. Hey, Dempsey, I found a flamethrower. Jealous? Oh, is it just me or is it getting hot in here? Anyone else smell bacon? You die! You are on fire, hell pig! All this fire is making me sweat. Sweat vodka? Taste the flames of hell!
Oh, I am honored. This will make for a fun time. I will shock them into submission. I finally get to turn with the Wunderwaffe. Behold, electric katana. It is on now, freak bags. The kamikaze strikes. Begone. The divine wind carries you away. Hadouken! Their bones are dust. The dragon's breath will end their suffering. I will burn them off the face of the earth. They will succumb to the brightness of my honor. Now they will become as ash. This disease shall be burned away forever. They shall be cured. I burn away your sins. Darkness becomes a right. That stings like a wasabi. Zombie shabu shabu! The rising sun burns you away!
I have been recognized by the Illuminati! Ah, the Wunderwaffe DG2! Oh, I've missed you! This will be the shock of a lifetime! Oh, the element of power! The epitome of my genius! How many can I play this at once? Joy is the slaughtering of the meek with the Wunderwaffe. Can it be the DG3? Can it be the DG3? The DG3 that's just for me? Listen, do you hear its joy? The doctor sends his regards. Shocking! Feels the power of the element. Mother, is that you? You mustn't tell anyone! Oh, what I wouldn't give to feel that kind of power. Burn them. Burn them. Yes, burn so nicely. So heavy, so hot, so handsome. I'll bathe in their anguish cries. The doctor is ready to boil them into submission. Shut up, or I will burn out your eyes. Liverwurst, anyone? He is burning! Ah, what joy! Oh, do you smell the cooked intestine? Delicious! Flames! Oh, the glorious flames! Fry, my pretties! Fry!
Ascension was originally going to have Double Tap, a chainsaw, Turb Brew, Candelier, and Pronade, like I mentioned earlier, the AK-47, a fifth lunar lander location, and a secret 1500 point door, which just shows you how more ambitious they were with this map, and I think what kind of caused them to go a little bit overboard with future maps like Transit. Maps are usually pretty ambitious and they like to add a lot of stuff, but unfortunately a lot of stuff they add ends up getting cut out, and sometimes that stuff is really cool. Black Ops 2 has some of the most cut content out of the Black Ops series, and especially Transit, which is the bulk of today's episode. The finished result of Transit that we got is quite different to what the developers had in mind for Transit. Transit underwent a last-minute rework due to performance and memory budgeting concerns. The original version of Transit included almost zero lava on the map, heavily decreased fog and smoke effects, and a larger playable area that had to be condensed for the full release. The earlier version of Transit, before the rework, can be seen in several pre-alpha images and behind-the-scenes photos and videos. The power station was to be a separate map for several game modes, including survival. Its map selection icon is still present within the game files. I think Power Station would have been another one of those maps that people just kind of forgot and never really went on to. Town would have still trumped it, just due to, you know, it being kind of a small map. Not necessarily small, but it is like very tight and just... It would have been interesting, but it wouldn't have been good. Because, I mean, you think about it, who stays at the power station in Transit? Several game modes for Transit were created and scrapped due to memory limitations. Each mode would be playable on a few sections of the larger map, including additional props, there's glowing signs, and, you know, mode-specific barricades. Modes were cleansed, outlast other players on your team, game ends when only one player is left standing, containment, stay alive for as long as you can, prevent the zombies from escaping. Game ends when one team survives. Deadpool, reach the end before your teammates. Meat, grab the meat and throw it. Zombies will only attack you if your team's side has the meat. And the meat game mode would have probably been like one of the best. There's some game files that remain exclusive to the meat game mode, and its functionality was similar to zombie flesh by being a throwable that would attract zombies. There was even this random head where there were also some game files that remained for it. It was exclusive to the grief mode. Its functionality was also similar to the zombie flesh. You could throw it around and it would attract zombies. And the head belongs to Richtofen, which in my opinion it really doesn't look like Richtofen that much. I mean, like kind of, but not really. Maybe they just weren't done making it. No Man's Land, survive endless waves of multiple enemy types. Game ends when all players die. Pitted, survive in endless waves of multiple enemy types. Race, kill the necessary amount of zombies to open your door and reach the end. First team to survive or reach the end wins. And I actually have the race and meat announcer quotes, so I'll play those now.
Hello, my sexy leg participants. It is your fearless leader, Richtofen. Welcome to Race. It's very easy. Just kill the required amount of zombies to open a door, move through to the next area, and repeat until you cross the finish line. A glorious game, if I do say so myself. Be sure to cause your opponent some grief along the way. Get ready to race. Hey there, willing participants. Welcome to Meat. The rules are easy. When the meat drops, you finally reached manhood. I mean, grab it, throw it, don't get caught with it. Zombies will only attack you if your side has the meat. Don't die and you might just win. Feel free to kick it too, my pretties. Get ready to play Meat. Grief has landed. Protect it from the zombies and send it back to your opponents. Okay, so here's what is going to happen. You as a player, you know who you are, pretty. You need to shoot targets to get the bridge to fall down. Oh wait, you don't have any bullets. Try killing zombies by stabby.
What has occurred cannot be undone. However, I realize the calculations were made in haste and could potentially threaten the entire globe. That was not the intent. I considered a possible plan B should this occur, but this plan would consist of creating global polarization devices that would... It appears I have difficulty speaking. Devices when the power... Shut the power... Me.
You have done well. Now activate the spire's power. Are you circumcised? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. That's it. Now, complete the device. Do it. You're not one of those foul creatures. Excellent. I have been searching for decades. Listen now.
what I have to say is of the utmost importance to mankind. If you would see this planet freed from the curse of these wretched undead creatures and the monstrous evil which controls them, then you must obey my every command. I cannot effect physical change, yet. You must be my hands. Only you can stop that awful worm, Richtofen. The creature is too far away. You need his energies, or all your efforts are for naught. The creature is near. Lure him to the spire. This is a great power source, although it will have to be amplified. With any higher output, our communications will likely cease. We will require a burst of tremendous voltage. 9! Don't do that! We need the creature's energies. Killing it will only set back your purpose. You have done well, but we need yet more energy. This is but the tip of what needs 3 sides. Now, create the trichotomous system. 9! The electromagnetic pulse has worn off. You must act with haste. The electrical grid is interfering with my signal. That is but one of the required 3 points to complete the design. Nothing to see here for now. Maybe down the road we will revisit this place. Such a lovely place. It seems some new cargo is aboard and needs to be delivered. The spire! The spire is nearby! We have other ways. This power is too intense for my purpose. I cannot communicate while it is...
Action-packed as a beast.
Excellent! You have freed it! But now you must turn off the power. An active power grid will disrupt all communications between us and make it impossible to accomplish the mission I have for you. Shut down the power. Yes, outstanding. Now we can continue our other tasks. You have done well, but yet we need more energy. Yes, the spire is online. Now, if the other sites can only be likewise empowered, then perhaps there is still a chance to complete that which was begun so many years ago. Your help has been invaluable. Farewell. Good. The trichotomous system is now complete. Kill the creature! Kill it now, so we may capture its essence. Not enough power! Bring additional energy systems! You have constructed a control mechanism, but to program the computer, you will need to secure an application nav card. You will have to seek it out, then return here and activate the spire to save mankind. Yes, power. We need more of it, but only power which is portable and possibly even alive. Ah! Your power supplies have drained. Now start again. Portable power devices are running out. You will have to redo a step. Hurry! You have let power degrade below acceptable levels. Return to the previous locations. 9! That makes him stronger. No! Excellent! You have activated the 2 obtuse vertices of the scaling. Quickly, complete the tertiary node.
Oh, look! You got the Wunderwaffe DG2! Ha! Just kidding! It's like playing Don't Touch the Lava, but with real lava! Is that all the damage those missiles did? I was hoping for less ground and more lava. I remember doing that just to anger that little girl. delightful! Ah, this building looks familiar. No power, no juggernaut. You have it easy compared to how they had it. It looks like a max ammo, but I can't be sure. I can only see everything at the same time. That gift was just for you. Won't you throw it away? I think I'm offended. Speed cola! Oh, how I miss that invigorating taste! Ah, the best drink of them all! Carpenter! Time for a fire sale! Insta-kill. Only one of them remains! Show no mercy! It's up to you now. You're the only one left. Pity. Blah, blah, blah. Vodka, vodka, blah, blah. Ah, I think I'm starting to miss that drunk. You know, I think I'm starting to miss the other three. Even a stupid American and drunken Russian could do better than that. Yeah, I can feel the tingling in my toesies. But don't, idioten, you need the power. Make me the flicker again, don't cough. That is a large group of Lebendentoten. Now lure them to the obelisk. Then make them kaboom! Here, zombie, let me help you. One of them is down! 3 of them are down! 3 enemies remain! Round restarting! You have given the other team another chance! Is no one going to say anything about vodka? Ah! You guys are boring! You fool! The obelisk must be hot! Very, very hot! Like me! Oh, that is a large piece! Now you have everything you need to make the jet engine! Quickly! 1, 2, 3, 4! Jawohl! Produce the electricity now! Together, all at once! Crushed beneath a heel! Der Sieg ist der Großkraft! Feel the thrill of victory! Trying to take a break, I see. Now, which one of you is going to take care of that little bastard while everyone else runs around? Pick up the zombie, put down the zombie. It's hard! Max ammo. Now go look at everything! Nein, Spastika, try again! The obelisk must be as hot as you can make it! What? Sometimes my pretties need help! Attack! Drop one of these right here on... Double points! 2 left! Let them suffer! Good job! Wunderbar! You've done well, my friend. But this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. Of your group, you are the only one who seems to be able to hear me. So you must convince your deaf friends to heat up the obelisk. Setting a puny fire will not be enough. It must reach an extreme temperature. Now, if only you know how to build a portable engine of some sort, which might grow very hard. Some sort of jet engine with an afterburner? Oh, what, you do? Oh, goody, goody. So, why are you still standing here listening to voices in your head? Get to it, Schweinhund, or Maxis will kill you all! Yeah, you did it! Soon this beautiful planet will be healed once more, and the flesh will cover the earth! What a glorious day that will be for you! You will be the hero that has saved all of the earth for me to play with! We will work together against the zombies, yeah? Co-op time! So much fun! Wunderbar! You're on 2 teams and only 1 team makes it out alive, so good luck. Ah, das ist good! You have accomplished much! But to activate the computer, you must have the little nav card thingy, which plugs into the computer thingy. Don't worry your little brain about what it does or how it works. Just go find it. Almost. All 4 must do it simultaneously. Together, idiots, together! Must I do everything? Look how much I do for you already. It's the least you could do to save your pathetic planet. I swear some people, no ability to work as a team. You know, I never liked how that little brat never told us how anything worked. So the secret to survive is to... And that's how you win! Now we need the 115. And the only place to get that is from the flesh. The flesh! You must wrest the 115 from the undead by killing them. Oh boy, do you need a bunch of it. Get busy! Idiots! You have missed a step somewhere. First the hut, then the fish, then the electricity. You are almost useless. If I wanted a mindless thing to save the earth, I would send a zombie. Okay, you seem new to this, or at least you seem a bit nervous, no? Okay, tell you what, I will keep my pretties from overwhelming you too much, so... relax! Excellent! Your skills are superb! Now get this thing to the obelisk! We must hurry, for Maxis is a busy little beaver, and the dummy bird will kill you all! Trust me! Excuse me, just getting used to the ether. Plays havoc on the pipes. Right. Let's see. I can help you up and over, pretty one. This is how she did it. I always knew she was cheating. You know, I used to be in your shoes. Then I became an all-powerful, omnipotent being. Ja, jawohl! It's so hot and it's burning up! Oh! Sexy! Oh, wunderschön! But now too much power is flowing into the obelisk. You must reduce the incoming power by a factor of 4!
Then there was the infamous bus Route B that never made it into the game. Everybody talked about this and how, like, maybe it's still there, maybe it is in the game. Until we found out that it just wasn't, and it was proven just not to be in the game. 9 maps were in development as remasters, but they were canceled for unknown reasons. Probably just ran out of time. Those maps being Nocturne Toten, Rurukt, Shinonuma, Doris, Kino der Toten, 5, Ascension, Shangri-La, and Moon. This would have been like our first kind of Zombies Chronicles, which, you know, we end up getting in BO3 with quite a few different maps. Did you know Electric Cherry originally had a 1980s disco-themed jingle, and it was finished, but was cut from the game because the jingle didn't fit with the tone of Mob. And I would actually beg to differ. I think it would have fit perfectly. I think that would have been actually way better than the one we got, which is just creepy chimes. Like, that fits, but I think the disco theme, like, wouldn't take away from anything. I think it would add to the perk. Mob of the Dead was originally going to be the entirety of Alcatraz, but Treyarch couldn't do that, of course, due to tech limitations. And it originally had the song from the club level in the campaign as the Easter egg song. Originally, Mob of the Dead was going to have individual Easter eggs for each character, but the idea was scrapped. I think this would have been better than the Mob of the Dead Easter egg we got. I think the ending for it is pretty cool, but the whole Easter egg is you doing random stuff that, like, means absolutely nothing. And it just makes absolutely no sense. I think the Easter egg should have been reworked throughout that entire game. Transit was originally going to have a lava lake, a giant power factory, and a motel, being part of the larger playable area that was cut from the final finished product. Originally in Transit, if you were on the bus and got a power-up, the power-up would stick to the bus. So instead of, you know, flying out the back, it would actually stay in the bus. And I don't understand. I don't think this. I don't know why this was cut. This couldn't be for memory reasons or anything like that. I think they just cut it because maybe that made the game too easy, but like it definitely wouldn't have. I think sometimes the developers cut stuff and not really. Sometimes they don't really use their heads. The second version of Transit was going to have a daytime, which would have been Transit without the fog, lava denizens, and it would have been set before Moon. This would have been one of the craziest things to see, and I think we should get like an official Treyarch remaster that has that version of Transit. A lot of people, if you look through sniper scopes in the reflective, you know, the lens, a lot of people seem to think that that is just Transit before all the explosions and, you know, the bombs and the fucking earthquakes and shit. I don't think that's even true. I think that's kind of false. Maybe it was proven true, but I don't see it. I just see regular Transit. In the cut DLC 5, Verrucht would have had a pack-a-punch machine under the power room where the zombie spawn is. Sal, Finn, and Billy had cut announcer quotes in Mob of the Dead. There was apparently a cut lantern buildable to scare off denizens. This would have been helpful. They cut it out probably so that, you know, you couldn't run through and crash the game, but this would have been very helpful if this would have worked. Mob of the Dead's code had PhD and Mule Kick in the files, but were later cut, and you can see them like kind of in background parts of the map. Kind of just teasing what could have been. There were also some cut quotes for Ted that were found, and insisted that some cut ideas for the bus were having to fill up the bus with gas and having to pay Ted to use the bus. Thank God they did not add that. That is the one time where they thought for a minute, like, hey, this is probably a bad idea. Let's get that out of there. Don't do that. There were a couple weapons cut from the game as well. The Dragunov, the AK-47, the M16, which is in the game, but this version had the M203 grenade launcher. The Spaz, and Bouncing Betties, which are also in the game, but only in multiplayer. That's all the cut content I could find for Black Ops 2. Okay, so I just found this out, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna make a video on this, because this is actually like really cool, and it kind of goes along with my cut content series, so this is just consider this bonus cut content. This goes over some World at War, BO2, BO3. I was gonna originally have the BO3 episode come out today, but this has already been released for the past 5 days, and I don't want it to be any later. So I'm sure most of you already maybe heard of it, but let's just get into it. So here we can see we actually have some original Pack-a-Punch concept art. And I should mention all of this was released by a previous Treyarch developer, just out of the blue, I guess, released a bunch of pre-alpha gameplay images and concept arts. You can actually see like a bunch of different concept art for all the different Pack-a-Punches. You can actually see the one we ended up getting was number 11, even though it says right there 1500. I think maybe that was going to be the original price, was 1500, which is actually kind of insanely cheap. Like there are perks that cost more than that. And then they also originally looked like they were going to do like a perk for it, where maybe you'd buy a perk and then as long as you had that perks, your guns would be kind of upgraded. I don't really know how that would have worked. That would have been kind of interesting to see. I mean, the machine itself is definitely the better idea. And I think they kind of went with that after they decided to make it a machine that you put the gun into. Because all the other designs are just different machines. You see like the weapons in them, or they're very similar to the Pack-a-Punch we got. Then we have some images that are from the BO3 remaster for Moon. We have the biodome, a couple of the doors, and then just like the, it looks like, I think that's the spawn area. Not really cut content, just kind of just some early, you know, early development images. Now this one is interesting. This is a very early concept for Ted. I mean, he's still got his hat, but literally everything else is different about him. I mean, he's still missing his arms, I guess. This thing looks mortifying, like just utterly, it's just horrific. I don't know what they were thinking. This thing is crazy. Has an animated eye, microphone ears, animated mouth. It's like a number 5 on him. I don't know what that would have meant. And then it looks like a jet gun piece is in his head. So I don't know, like maybe that's how you would have got one of the pieces. You had to, I don't know if I can know, kill Ted or charge him up with the jet gun. You know, who knows? But this would have been like kind of crazy to just like we almost had a different version of Ted. I think the Ted we got is so much better. And just imagine if this is the one that we did get. It's not necessarily bad, it's just not as good. And then of course we have the denizens. This is just insane. I honestly would have preferred this. This would have made the fog infinitely more terrifying if you saw this thing coming at you. The ones we got look like just excessively alien-like, and they're just not even They just look goofy. This is just insane. Of course, this is one we all had seen before, was the meat concept art. This was in the last cut content video, the BO2 episode, but I thought I'd include it just because it is on the list, and I'm gonna put in the description the link that has all these pictures for it in case you guys just want to go look at them. All of them will be in there. And then this is like really cool. This is a map transit, like kind of drawn out. This is actually like really cool. I like genuinely like this. This is almost looks fan made. And just with like the logo that says transit in the bottom, like that just looks like something fan made. So none of this is really cut. This is just something that I guess someone drew up. It's kind of like a reference of what they were going to make. Then we have another concept art for a different area in transit. I think this was... either this is another area, this is what town was supposed to be, I can't remember. We have a concept for bus depot, and everything looks normal except for the bunker there. I mean, the bunker looks like maybe at one point you could have opened it up, maybe gone in there. I mean, we know how big their aspirations were for transit, and I honestly wouldn't put it past them to have a functional bunker. But everything else about this kind of does just look pretty normal. Pretty much what we had out of bus depot, other than that sign there. It says fire department. That's actually kind of interesting. I wonder what that would have been. And then we have some Wonder Fizz art. Just a bunch of like, I guess like stages. I mean, I guess it does say stages or states right there. This is just like kind of showing the different time. Maybe it would have been like the Wonder Fizz would have always been moving around. I don't really know what this is. I think this is just kind of like showing like the idea of like the Wonder Fizz always moving around, and just like what they look like is kind of like if you're able to use it or not. Maybe you would have had to build them because some of these have the ball and some of them don't. Then we have some power up and different buildable parts and all that kind of stuff. I actually love the way the perks look. I mean the power ups, they look a little goofy. That skull is kind of weird, but the perks, like that is, I love that. I actually wish that's what we would have gotten. Those are like really nice, really clean. They just seem like tin, and I think that fits for BO2 so well. I have a bunch of buildables. None that I'm not noticing any that aren't in the game. I think those are all in the game. Then we have some concept art for the KT4 from BO3, Zetsubo. It's just untextured, just kind of like maybe a quick model. They put the quick model. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here, but just something they put together to kind of like before they had everything in. And then we have like what seems to be like a loading screen. This kind of reminds me of the Nocturne Totem loading screen. I think that's what this is, honestly. I don't really know what else it would be. Just like an early version of it. The people in the bottom left corner look terrified. That image is like very uncanny. Okay, then we have a picture of a chalkboard, and I didn't even know people actually drew on chalkboards with concept art and stuff. That's actually kind of funny. That just wasn't expecting that. But this is showing some more zombie stuff. Maybe transit. This just looks like a bunch of alien tech. I mean, it looks like there's an alien right there, and then there's some shield stuff. It's kind of hard to read. If you guys can read it, let me know what it says, because I cannot tell what this says. Now, I don't know if this is for multiplayer, if this is zombies, but it seems like it might be for zombies just because Buried. This might have been something that was in Buried. I don't... Is this in Buried? Is there a gunsmith in Buried? I don't remember. It's been a while. I don't remember if there's... Well, if there is, and this is early concept art, if there isn't, then maybe it was supposed to be and then there wasn't. I don't really know. There's just some CDC logos. Nothing really special, just CDC logos. There's just some more Zetsubo stuff. Got the arm for the spider to get the KT4 parts. Some more stuff. I don't know why Marlton is the model, and all of these that's just standing there. I guess that's their default model. I don't know what this is. I don't recognize this. This kind of looks like it's like part of Kino almost, with just the checkerboard pattern. But it might just be for multiplayer or campaign. I don't really know what this is. Now here is something that I'm setting my wallpaper to. This is cool. This is art of Electric Cherry. This looks like just the finished product. They have like the logo and everything here. Perk icon. I don't know who the hell. I think that's just for reference. The guy standing there. I'm surprised it's not Marlton. This is cool though. We have a night version of the gunsmith thing here, and then a bank. I'm assuming these are for Barry, dude. Like, I don't know what else it would be for, especially because up next here we have Vulture's Aid. Now, I don't remember ever seeing this Vulture's 8 bottle. I don't know. See, then they have Marlton here. They didn't have it on the electric cherry. But what this bottle is for, I don't know if that's like actually in the game or not, but that is like cool. Like that would be really cool to have in real life. This looks like we got the power station from Transit here. Just some concept art probably. Nothing really interesting. Kind of looks about the same. Up next we have the diner and the gas station like images. These almost look like these would have been, these like kind of look similar to the meat gameplay picture, kind of just like, or loading screen, like these almost look like loading screens. Concept art for diner and the farmhouse at farm. This is cool. Like it really, there's a lot of information here just showing like kind of what they had, like what ideas they had. And the one in diner, like there's a HUD and everything, so it looks like they were already kind of experimenting here with zombies and stuff. Like you see them walking around there. You have just another loading screen for town or something here. I don't really know what this is. These are all really cool. I really do like these though. Like I like the style of them. The last one we have here is something that looks exactly like The Walking Dead. Like the Telltale games. Like the font and like just the way the Xbox buttons look. Like this just looks straight out of like a Walking Dead Telltale game, which is just funny. But it just looks like an early version of like what map you wanted to select, and it looked like you could kind of just select anywhere here and go to anywhere. I think that's kind of like what their original idea was, and they just couldn't do it. Yeah, that was all the images I could get out of this. I mean, again, I'll link it down below, and you guys kind of check out everything. There's some what looks like multiplayer things in here that I kind of skipped over because I didn't really know what they were, and some of this was clearly just some multiplayer stuff, like some CIA logos, and if there is some more zombie stuff in here that I just skipped over and didn't realize, you know, go ahead and let me know. Black Ops 3 had some of the strangest cut content. What was cut would have actually genuinely altered the whole game. Let's get into it. Originally going to be 3 difficulties for zombies: Survivor, Hunter, and Exterminator. I think this is a way for them to expand what they did in Black Ops 2, where they did have a difficulty slider. I'm glad they kind of didn't do it. I don't think zombies needs a difficulty. It wouldn't make any sense, and it would just be more to think about before going into a game that you don't really need to. There was a whole different tab for a character customization kind of feature where all of your characters you could customize, and they eventually would do this in BO4, but not to the extent that they were planning for BO3. This kind of just looks like you would have been able to choose outfits and stuff. BO4, it's just face paint. This is just another one of those things where they were just trying to do too much, and I think they learned their lesson with like Transit. They didn't want to repeat of that. Tried to do too much, you're gonna ruin the map. And in this case, the game. I mean, we look at how well BO4 turned out, and they ended up adding the character customization to that. Now, obviously, character customization didn't entirely on its own ruin BO4, but it's just trying to add too much. Shadows of Evil was originally harder with zombie AI that sprinted at round 2, and doors costed more. I'm glad they didn't add that. I think for once, they were like, maybe we shouldn't do this. This is a little bit ridiculous. Like, what would have been the purpose of this? On BO3, the zombies are just insane as it is. Like, not difficult, just like if you're not paying attention, you can get insta-downed by a zombie. Their swipes are just a little bit too frequent, and this would have just multiplied that like infinitely. And you pair that with doors costing more, that's just ridiculous. I think the doors would have costed more just because of the gobblegums, but not everybody uses the megas. Like, I really don't use them all that often. I just use the classics. So this would have just completely ruined the game. Gobblegum machines worked way differently with only one on the map, and it would move after it hit. I really don't understand what they were thinking. I guess they did think like, this is kind of stupid, let's just not do it. I feel like this is just an early thing that they were gonna do for just a small amount in the development. I don't think they kept this in for long, because that is kind of ridiculous. It just makes no sense. There's an alternate ammo type called Honey Business that was cut from the game. There were some sound files that kind of suggested it was like the multiplayer specialist weapon called Bees. I actually really wish we would have gotten this. Is one of those things that like, this would have been like kind of cool actually to see. Like if it was just bees eating the zombies or something. It probably would have been kind of slow, but like it still would have been cool. Better than fucking Thunderwall. In the Files of Revelations, both Dr. Monty and the Shadow Man have lines as the demonic announcer. Files went unused for whatever reason. Don't really exactly know, but I'll go ahead and play those.
Kaboom! Bonus points. Carpenter. Double points.
sale. Insta-kill. Minigun.
There's also some things called Let It Ride tokens, which was an early version of Liquid Divinium. This is in the pre-alpha phase, and you would have used these for the Mega Chew Bubble Blast. Thank God. just thank God they changed that. Shadows. There was the Apothecant Servant upgrade quest, probably one of the most infamous cut content pieces to come out of Shadows. There was a way to do it at launch. It was glitched and you weren't supposed to be able to do it, but you could run up to the Pack-a-Punch machine and hold out a different weapon, and as you're switching it, hold Pack-a-Punch, and as long as you switch to the Apothecant Servant, it would Pack-a-Punch that and you'd be able to do it. Of course, this would eventually get patched, but people were like, oh my God, clearly there's a way to unlock this, and I guess, you know, that's a fair point, but it was just... it wasn't possible. The version that they were going to add for you to be able to do it, though, was get around 40 kills and then find one of the spots to hang a cocoon. There's a couple of them around the map, and after a round or two, the upgraded version would come out. So you were never even able to put it in the machine, and so I really don't understand how that glitch happened. Each character had a unique name for the Apothecant Servant. It's another one of those things, just like, why would you cut this out? Like, clearly you had it all set up. There's like gameplay footage of it. Like, why cut it out? It just doesn't make any sense. There's also a little Arnie Easter egg separate from the one that is in Shadows. This one would allow you to get them without having to spin the box. Keeper jars in each district. You'd grab one of those. There was a way to turn it into something called the Magic Keeper jar, and then you would capture the little Arnie. I don't know if they were like flying around or like in the water. I don't really know how you capture a little Arnie, but that would have allowed you to have them. There's also the chicken bait Easter egg on Revelations. This ended up getting cut. This would have been really cool to see in the game. At some point early in the development of Shadows, all of the Margwa mouths could open at the exact same time. I'm sure a lot of people have heard that one. That's just something like people just for some reason just know, even though it's not really that crazy. There used to be a custom max ammo symbol that they just kind of ended up removing all entirely. It was in the game for a little bit, I'm pretty sure, and they ended up just taking it out of the game, which left a lot of people confused. Like, wait a minute, like, wasn't there a different symbol? I don't really know why you would remove this. I think it's still in last gen 3, Shadows of Evil. I'm pretty sure it's still in the last gen version. It's another one of those things, like, there was not really a reason to remove it. I guess they just stopped liking it or something. Someone stopped liking it, was like, remove that. There was a cut weapon camo for your guns called the Now You See Me, Now You Don't really know much about this. It was just cut. There's supposed to be the Galvanuckles in Horizon Track, which would have actually been really cool to see those make a return. I think there's a single map in BO3 with those. Yeah, no, there's not. That would have been cool to see them in BO3. Also, some game files suggesting that you could Pack-a-Punch the summoning key and put it in a rocket. I don't know if this is like the Ascension rocket or like what this was. Clearly, they were going a little bit of a different direction with the story at some point. And of course, a bunch of cut weapons from the game. Most of these are Black Ops 2 weapons, which is kind of weird. The M27, the MCOS, called the Robot Gun, which was just an all pink gun. I wish that would have made it in. That is very strange. 7, Type 27, SWAT 556, FAL, Remington 870, Cap 40. There was a pistol called the Patriot, Chaser, SMAW, EMP launcher, and the KN-44 was originally called the AR-AK. Not really a cut weapon, just cut name. There's also like these really weird like growls from the characters, like as like zombies. I don't really know what these would have been used for. I don't really... They're just making zombie noises. It's a little bit goofy, but they're there. They're in the files. There's also a cut perk called Liquidity. Not much is known about this. I don't know if this is actually a custom logo or something in the game, like in the files. But if this logo is custom, then my bad. But I do know that the jingle I'm about to show you is a custom jingle, and I'll let you guys listen to that. That was all the cut content I could find for BO3. Again, let me know if I missed anything.